The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Glide Rural Fire Protection District, Oregon, on your new Pierce fire apparatus 40575. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. We'll get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. First, starting with a full front view of the apparatus, let's move up onto the roof where you'll find your emergency warning light bar. Also located in this area are 5 identification clearance lights. There are 2 windshield wipers across the front windshield, and as we move to the forward section, you'll find the Freightliner logo. Directly above that, you'll find a black and red cutout. This is the location for the grab handle for tilting the hood. Let's move now to the grille itself. On each side of the Pierce logo, you'll find 2 forward-facing emergency warning lights. Located in the center is the Pierce logo, and then a close-up here of those emergency warning lights forward-facing. Let's move to the headlight structure where you'll find low and high beam headlights. Also within that cluster, you'll find a marker turn indicator light on the outer edge. As we move down to the front bumper, you'll find the location for mounting of your license plate. Also 2 forward-facing tow hooks. These are direct pull, 6,000 pounds, are not intended for towing of the vehicle, and also your siren PA speaker. Up onto the top of the hood, you'll find your air horn and also air vent for your engine. On the top of the fender, you'll find a marker turn indicator light, and also in the forward section, you'll find an emergency warning light side facing. As we move to the wheel, you'll find Alcoa wheels and Michelin tires. Let's move to the rear of the hood where you'll find the latch mechanism for accessing the engine space. There's one on the passenger and driver side. Moving now to the mirror on the A-pillar where you'll find a flat mirror and convex mirror. There's also grab handles at each location on the passenger and driver side for maintaining 3 points of contact. Also the clean certified idle from Cummins placard. As we move to the step, you'll find LED lighting and also the silver cap, which is your ultra low sulfur diesel fill, and then also blue cap, which is your DEF fill location. On each of the door panels, you'll find your warning information placards, along with information at the base of the seat for a yellow placard indicating the 5-digit job number, gross vehicle weight rating, cold tire inflation, the date of manufacture, VIN number, also all of the fluid components, fluid itself, and also the amount of fluid for each of those components. As we move to the base of the seat, you'll find your master battery switch. It's a quarter turn. Also, as we move to the dash area, you'll find a keyed ignition switch. And then also you'll find a placard indicating the height of the vehicle on the yellow placard, 9 feet 5 inches, length 29 feet 8 inches, gross vehicle weight rating 54,600 pounds, also 5-digit job number. As we move to the dash cluster, you'll find your tachometer and speedometer, oil pressure, water temp, fuel level, and then also front and rear air pressure. Moving now just to the right of this location in the driver's space, general view. Let's start at the very top section and we'll move downward where you'll find 12-volt access via USB and also barrel style. Moving down, the yellow diamond is the pull to apply your system parking brake and push to release. Along with on the column, you'll find your gear shifter. Also, additional tally lights look just to the right for pump engaged, OK to pump, and then OK to pump and roll. Also 4-way flashers, dome light, footwell, and automatic traction control. In the lower switch panel, you'll find the PTO pump, high idle, and alarm reset. Moving just to the right, you'll find a digital readout regarding engine information, also seatbelt information, red, someone is in the seat and not belted, green, in the seat and belted, along with tally lights on the right side. Climate control for heat, air conditioning, and defrost, and then just underneath this, you'll find an additional information placard regarding your engine brake. Moving just down from this location, you'll find the VMUX diagnostic port and vehicle data recording port and audible speaker. The outer edge of that speaker does rotate to increase or decrease sound. Over the driver's space, we have additional switch panels. Let's start on the left, where you'll find the master, emergency, lower zone, and rear zone. Moving further to the right, you'll find all of our scene lights for rear, right, and left. And then as we move to the exterior of the pump panel area, we'll start first in the very top section, where you'll find the dunnage area, and then also two crosslays, crosslay 1 and crosslay number 2. Moving down on the pump panel, you'll find on the left master pressure gauges for pressure and master discharge gauge, also water tank level indicator and pressure test gauge ports for vacuum and pressure, currently plugged and utilized for testing purposes. Also switch panel for your panel lights, and then also water level indicator. You do have a pump boss, which is your pressure throttle governor, and then right next to that is the minimum operation maintenance schedule, along with a warning placard for entanglement hazard. Because those lines coming from aloft, there is the possibility of entanglement. As we move down, let's identify a few of the discharges. In the start of the upper left-hand corner, you'll find crosslay 1 and deluge discharge. Moving further down and to the right, also large diameter and tank refill recirculating line. Moving further down, you'll find crosslay 2 and driver number 1, 2.5-inch discharge. And then moving to the right, you'll find passenger side number 2, a 2.5-inch discharge, and also the engine cooler. As we move down, warning placard, entanglement hazard, because those lines coming from aloft, in addition with a warning regarding pressure hazard, caps may be under pressure, be cautious when opening them. As we move down, the large diameter inlet, also the fire pump primer push to prime for best practices at least 1000 RPMs, which is just right next to the tank to pump. Also further down is your number 1 driver's side 2.5-inch inlet, along with the shoreline inlet and auto charge status center. When plugged into shoreline power, that activation will illuminate indicating battery status. Along with the main pump drain, and at the very bottom section you can see this is the shoreline inlet 20 amp auto eject, which is right next to the air inlet. Across the very bottom, all of our color coded and labeled discharge drains. Also down in this area you'll find the auxiliary inlet, which is a 2.5-inch inlet. It is locally controlled via the ball valve, and it is a female inlet. Just underneath that, you'll find all of our color-coded and labeled drains, along with your pump capacity, 1,250 GPM. Let's move now to the side of the truck. We'll identify a few of those items within this area. First, tandem axle at the rear. In the very top section, you'll find side-facing scene lights. In the lower section, roll-up compartment doors. Let's go to the very top, where you'll find the forward side-facing scene light. This is the front section of the body. Into the lower compartment, roll-up compartment door. When plugged into shoreline power, the outlet is active, indicating that the auto charger is active, maintaining battery status. Just in front of the rear axle, you'll find a marker turn indicator light located here. Then also tandem axle. In between those two axles, you'll find SCBA bottle storage for 2 bottles with retaining straps. You'll also find to the rear of the axle a side-facing emergency warning light. And then let's move to the very rear compartment in the rear portion of the truck, LED lighting. Back up to the very top section of the side seat, you'll find a side-facing emergency warning light, and then also a rear scene light. This is facing to the side of the truck. Let's move around to the rear of the apparatus, where you'll find a ladder for gaining access to go aloft. Also an emergency warning light. There are 2, one on the left and one on the right, along with some warning placards indicating fall, always face the vehicle while climbing on and off, never ride on the vehicle while it's in motion, and entanglement hazard. There is a cupped switch for the hose bed light, and then also additional lights for your license plate bracket. Also in the upper portions of the cutouts, you'll find lift and turn latch will gain you access on the side of the tank. This is for long storage of your rigid suction hose, drafting tubes. And as we move down, you'll find additional lights here for work lights, and then also emergency brake, turn, and reverse light cluster, both on the passenger and driver's side. Moving down now to the rear tailboard. And then just slightly up from this location, you'll find locally controlled ball valve here. This is a direct tank fill. It is a female hose connection, 2.5 inch. You'll also find protruding out the rear of the truck tow hooks. These are not intended for towing and are 6,000 pound direct pull. And then in the center of the back of the tank is where you'll find the water chute or dump valve located here for either access left, right, or center. At the very top, you'll find an emergency warning light. And then moving down to the right side, you'll find lift and turn latch gains you access into this space. Same configuration as the driver's side you will have on the passenger side. This is for long, rigid hose storage for your suction tube. Also work lights, and then also emergency warning cluster, brake, turn, and reverse light. Let's move around to the passenger side of the vehicle next. Take a quick look at the full view at the side of the vehicle. And then we'll take a look with the compartment doors open next. Same configuration and layout as you have on the passenger side as you do on the driver's side. Both compartments open now on the roll-up compartment doors. At the top, emergency warning light, side-facing scene light. In the lower rear roll-up compartment, LED lighting. To the rear of the axle, side-facing emergency warning light. And then in between the dual axle, you'll find a storage location for SCBA bottle storage for up to 2 bottles. You'll also find on this side is the location for your exhaust. Extremely hot diesel exhaust temperatures do exist, especially during regen operation. Be cautious where you park your vehicle. Forward compartment, LED lighting, ventilation. Let's move up to the very front section of the body where you'll find a side-facing scene light and grab handle. Now we're to the pump panel area, where you'll find in the forward section 2 crosslays, crosslay 1 and crosslay 2. Also within this area, you'll find a pan door for gaining access behind the pump panel. Lift and turn latch will gain you access into this space. There is a light inside on the dome light. Also, warning placard indicating entanglement hazard because of those lines coming from aloft. There's also some discharges on this side. We have the large diameter discharge, along with a warning placard that caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening them. And then just below this, you'll find the number 2 passenger side discharge. It is a 2.5 inch discharge controlled via the pump panel on the driver's side, along with your large diameter pump inlet on the passenger side. Also a pan door located in the lower left-hand corner, along with a warning placard within this area indicating that only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment, and that's only after proper training. You'll also find all of our color-coded and labeled discharge drains across the very bottom section of the panel, and also the minimum operation maintenance schedule for 150, 200, and 250 pump test pressures. On the vertical body, you'll find additional pull-down steps for gaining access to go aloft. We're now into the cab section next, where you'll find on the A-pillar a flat mirror and in the lower portion a convex mirror. Easily accessible with your gloved hand. These are the door lock and latch combination. It is a keyed lock. As we move into the steps to gain access, you'll find LED lighting illuminating the step area. Also affixed to the door panel are safety and warning placard information, grab handle, door lock, window control. At the base of the cab, you'll also find LED lights that illuminate the stepwell area, in addition with some warning placards within this space also. General view into the officer space. We're to the A pillar where you'll find a grab handle at the very top section, back to the exterior where you'll find an air horn, and then also at the top of the fender you'll find a marker turn indicator light. To the rear of the fender is where you'll find the release hood latch. There are 2, one on the passenger and one on the driver's side. You'll also find in this area your headlight structure housing a marker turn indicator, and then also headlight structure housing low and high beam headlights along with a side-facing emergency warning light. Back to the front axle where you'll find Michelin tires and Alcoa wheel. Congratulations, Glide Rule Fire Protection District, Oregon, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 40575. If you have any questions, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.